I decided today is the day. I'm going to till up my corn patch. I'm not waiting anymore for rain. There's nothing I can do about the rain. I'm going to till it. I decided I would just go ahead and do it, and then I could put some water hoses on it to kind of give it some moisture, and then come back a little bit later and till it again. I bought a Troy-built tiller a few months ago. Haven't used it a lot because we've been in this drought, but I have used it a few times, so it's got a little wear on it. But in all honesty, it's brand new. So what could go wrong? It's worked fine for me. It hasn't given me any trouble so far. So today I started tilling, and I was going good. It was going good. A little bit rough in some spots. I must have a few roots under there somewhere. I guess maybe from that big tree. A couple of spots gave me trouble, but for the most part, it was going great. I just walked behind it and kind of let it do its thing, but it's slow process, but that's like every tiller. No big deal there. So I did it up one row, down a row, and up a row, and down a row, and was doing great. I even got to the point where I was at the halfway mark. I was doing so good. And then as I got more towards the 3/4 mark, that's when things started going wrong. I decided to check my gas, even though I figured I had plenty of gas, and there was some gas in there. But I decided to go ahead and get some more gas and top it off. Sometimes it looks like you have gas, but it might really be just circling the bottom, so I decided to go ahead and gas it back up. I thought I would try that, and was hoping that would be the end of it, and it would keep going. Did okay for a minute. I was able to get to the end of this row, but then when I turned around and started going the other direction, I started having trouble again. And you'll notice this area is more grassy than the other area was on the other side of the garden. So I started thinking that maybe it was just clogging up or clogging my carburetor. I decided to take my little filter out. I'm assuming this is like a carburetor filter. I decided to take it out and kind of knock it off and get all the dirt out of it and everything, and then put it back in. That was just a solution I thought of. And I'm realizing too how dusty it is out here, and I'm worried that my whole carburetor might have been like clogged up, which could be, and it might be the problem. That's one thing I'm just throwing out there. But this was my second kind of solution. Gas was first, this carburetor was second, and then I thought, well, let me try again. At this point, I'm realizing my camera's going, and I can't throw a fit, and I can't cuss. So I decided to just walk away. Just walk away and go pull a few vines and just kind of calm down, calm down. I'm going to revisit this issue in just a minute after I kind of calm down. I decided to look underneath it and just check and see if anything was clogged up. And oh my goodness, I had stuff wrapped around all the tines, all in between all four tines. And so I proceeded to pull all this stuff off. And I kid you not, it took me about 25 or 30 minutes. It took forever. It was all knotted up on there and tight as it could be, and I just had to pull it off literally inches at a time. So I thought maybe that's what it was. That's my third idea. Maybe all this crud that's all around here, that's what it is. And that when it gets to a certain point, it just kind of locks everything up and it doesn't want to go. That's what I was kind of hoping. But after taking all of it off and after spending all this time getting it off, which I needed to do anyway, I guess, that still wasn't helping me at all. As it had done before, after I did the grass and took the grass off of it and everything, I tried to crank it again, and it cranked. It kept cranking for me every time, so it wasn't giving me any trouble. So I thought, well, maybe it's ready to rock and roll this time. So I started going. I was just trying to get to the end of this row, and hopefully it would work. And all of a sudden it stopped again. So it was done. And to be honest with you, so was I. I tried once again to crank it, but this time it was a no-go. I could not get it to crank. So I just decided, because I needed to go cook supper and I was getting worn out doing this, I just decided to put the wheels in freewheel mode and go ahead and roll it to the shed. Just roll it under the shed for tonight and maybe do this video and see if I could get any input from anybody, and then I'd revisit it again tomorrow. My husband thinks that my gas is old, and he may be right. I'm not arguing with him. However, here's the facts on that. The gas is probably about 2 months old, which, yes, that might be a little too old. I mowed my yard about 2 months ago before the drought, I guess, at the beginning of the drought. And I had a full tank of that when I started mowing Friday, this past Friday and Saturday. So I was using the same gas in my mower that had been sitting in the mower for 2 months, and it didn't give me any trouble. I mowed my whole yard Friday and Saturday, and it did fine. I put the same gas out of my can into my push mower and push mowed my front yard, and my push mower ran fine. It didn't give me any trouble. I took the same can of gas and gassed this up today, and it did 3/4 of this before it started giving me trouble. So, is it the gas? That's the facts on the gas. Maybe you can give me some advice. Does it take that long for bad gas to start making it give trouble? Could I have gotten 3/4 of this patch done on bad gas? I don't know. I've never really dealt with bad gas. We just usually use it up in our can, and I go get more when I'm ready to use it again. So can you believe this is all I had left? 2 or 3 little passes at the end of this garden. That was all I had left, and I would have been done. I wanted to get this finished. I could really use some help and some advice on this from anybody out there that tills and uses a tiller. Is it my carburetor? Is it the bad gas? What do you think? I'd appreciate any comments you could give me and any advice you could give me. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place, once again needing your help. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.